Hi parents, Namaskar. Parenting journey is a complex journey, and as I say, parenting journey is not really about the child. Parenting journey is about who you are, and it's an opportunity for you to evolve. In certain way, if I say that the moment you chose to be a parent, you actually chose to evolve as a person, to get mature as a person, that would not be an exaggeration. In fact, that is how it exactly is. Parenting literally puts you on that road, on that path wherein you have no choice but to grow if you are wanting something wonderful for your child. If you do not want your child to grow as somebody who is always looking at some other person for validation, decision making, somebody who cannot give mature thoughts, if you do not want a child of this kind, you must work upon yourself, because the younger years, they are the most crucial when it comes to parenting. And depending upon what kind of thought process you carry, what kind of temperament you carry, what kind of emotional behavior you always show, depending upon all that, you are going to behave with the child in certain way. So yes, if you are really concerned about your child, then the choice is limited. The choice is just to grow. And trust me, growing is beautiful. Growing is wonderful. And you know it once you start tasting it. So stay with me on this journey. In fact, if I would say that the moment you start growing, parenting is really not complex. That actually would be the right statement to make. So here again I am, Richa, your parenting coach, and together we are going to unfold yet another topic today. And what do I have on platter today? I'm sure you would have heard it so many times. That is comparison. Every time you would have gone to PTMs, parent teacher meet in your child's school, you would have heard these words. Do not compare your child. And somewhere we also do not want to compare. However, when we are in even little bit of stress because the child is not listening, because the child is not doing things on time, because the child is not responding, we start getting hyper, and comparison is instant. It just happens, it slips away, and we don't even know. In fact, a lot of times we think, okay, now that I have done this, how do I repair this? Well, no repairing. Repairing would not really help, because if you would try to repair, remember the child is intelligent, they would know that there is some guilt in you, and then the rest is history. So, how do I deal with comparison? How do I stop comparing? If you would go to J. Krishnamurti, he talks of comparison in a very beautiful way. He says, when you are comparing yourself all the time, your salary, your friend's salary, your boss's salary, your neighbor's salary, your house, neighbor's house, your car, neighbor's car, to an extent, your wife, his wife, your parents, his parents, everywhere. It is like comparison is in our DNA. We just cannot live without comparing. If this is the tendency, how can you ever stop comparing the child? This will just happen because this is the pattern of your mind. So, what to do? Well, work on yourself. Can you be a little mindful when you are comparing anything ever Right now, I would not talk of factual comparisons. Yes, there is a comparison which is about facts, and that is all right. But because we are already so high on the journey of comparison that even if we take a U-turn, even if we stop there, even if we stop and reflect there, we would discover a lot of things about ourselves. So right now, let's focus on why are we comparing at all? What is the need of comparing? If you will decode it, go down further, try and find out, try and see what is in you that demands comparison. Why is it that we cannot live without comparison? There is something interesting that you will find. Comparison is an output, an expression of inferiority, or even say superiority complex. Only when we feel smaller, or when we want to tell that how better we are with someone in whatever terms, we actually compare. And this exactly is also the reason why you are asked not to compare your children. Why the marks must not be compared. And if at all you have to compare something, can you move backwards to comparing effort? How much of effort? Instead of comparing, is it possible for you to make the child realize how much of effort did the child put in whatever it is? And if again the environment of trust is not built, you know that the child would not listen to you. Working upon trust, creating that environment of discussion and listening. If you can bring up to your child what is effort, how much of it is required, and what is the fun that the child can experience through effort, you would be doing a wonderful job. But it again demands you to show a few traits. One, not coming from a space of feeling small or big. Number two, patience. Accepting that the child will learn depending upon his learning capability. All that you can do is create an environment and nurture. You must not overdo nurturing, because it is then that it becomes sabotaging to the child. So, not coming from the space of feeling smaller or bigger, patience, and that trust in the existential process that everything would be taken care of. A lot of time we reflect this because we had been compared when we were kids. A lot of us were more than one sibling. Comparison was always instant, frequent. And now we come from the space of our parents would, and see what you are doing. By this time, my parents would have thrashed me. By this time, I would have been beaten left, right, center. By this time, you are talking to me like this. We never had even the guts to look into the eyes of our parents. We would not even stand in front. Tell me the kind of relationship you had with your parents. Do you want that to be copied with your child? And secondly, please do not forget, the times have also changed. The exposures have also changed. The way of looking at the world also has changed. With all this, do you want to continue having similar relationship as that you had with your parent? So that is why it becomes even more important for you to be cautious, alert, attentive about not comparing. Now this can only happen if you are able to ring this in your mind all the time, as much of the time. In the beginning it will be slow. As you go ahead, it will be better, it will be faster. You will be able to hold this remembrance for longer, and you will see that you have stopped comparing yourself also. And when that starts to happen and you become all right with the way you are, you also become all right with the way the child is. This is the center. All right with I, all right with child. Not all right with I, not all right with the child. And it will just translate. You would not need to do any effort, very subconsciously. So I'm sure and I'm hoping a lot of clarity on comparison, and possibly you're also finding your own tools, your methods. How would you like to deal with it? Do share your comments, your queries, your experiences, how things are changing, or what is still challenging, so that I can go ahead and create more videos on them. Thank you so much. Make your life simpler, make parenting simpler. Complexity would just go away, fade away. Namaskar, happy parenting.